Yo YouTube, what's crack-a-lacka, jack-a-smack, and it's Wolfman for video. We got some draft champions right here, and we're starting another draft. I decided to end my old one because I was taking way too long, and there's new cards out and everyone's team is getting better. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of draft champions, and I've actually come up with a pretty good strategy to how to draft. I mean, you know, I've watched Cullenberger, and Cullenberger knows that there are silver gems in there. Yeah, there are definitely silver gems, but I like to draft a good offensive line, a good quarterback, a good running back, and a great defense. So you see, we got that cornerback from the Packers. Right here, we're looking, and we're gonna take Paul Posluszny because he's a middle linebacker. He's the best there. And yeah, right here is very tough. I mean, cornerback and Dominic Washington is a really good cornerback in this game. He's got good height. And right here, we get another defensive round. But you know, George Iloko is the guy you have to get. So yeah, the thing about draft champions is that you only have 15 players to get. So 7 players on your team or 6 players are gonna be either 80 or below, or even like all right. And sometimes you might not get lucky because you might get 2 of the same player, because you're just not giving the luck. You might have like a receiver already, and then they give you a round with all receivers. You already have a left tackle, and they give you a round with all left tackles or players you don't need, so you get unlucky. So you gotta play some players out of position sometimes, and that's what you gotta do. Sometimes you gotta make that decision to play the players out of the position. So far my defense has Aaron Donald, Dominic Washington, Gunter, and Prince Amukamara. This is a good cornerback group so far. We just picked up Terry Knighton. We have Paul Posluszny, and now we have Jamie Collins, a left outside linebacker. So here we see Glover Quinn, and that's who we're going with, man. We already have we don't have a quarterback yet, and yeah, I'm thinking we could get a better quarterback than Matthew Stafford, because we're probably not going to be drafting any receivers. So our defense is looking really great. But look at here. The only person we can pick is Jason Peters, so we're going to try to build up that line, because if you notice, people in draft champions don't usually have an all-star defensive line. I mean, very rarely people will put a lot of people on the defensive line. So if you get a beast-ass offensive line, turns out you're going to be able to get more passes completed, and you're going to be able to get run blockers, and we get Fletcher Cox right there. And the same thing you could say about the defensive line. If a player, you know, people are not going to really have great offensive line, so if you have a beast-ass defensive line, you're going to get a lot more hits. You're going to have to force him to throw more. And right there, I took John Abraham because I already need, and right here, it's like, what the hell, man? I already have 3 linebackers, but I don't really need a strong safety, and Derek Brooks has always been consistent. I can't even put Derek Brooks, you know, in the secondary, but, you know, I already have a quarterback. Tony Romo, solid quarterback right there. So we're going to take Derek Brooks because he's solid. And yeah, basically I'm going to have to play Jamie Collins, or I'm actually going to play Derek Brooks out of position, and that's what you got to do. Sometimes you got to do that to fill some spots on your team so you don't have a gap. So my offense right there, really not looking too good. Only Tony Romo, 2 good offensive linemen, and no receivers and no running backs. So yeah, but our defense is loaded. We got Dominique, Prince Amukamara, Gunter, George Iloka, Glover Quinn Jr., Derek Brooks, Jamie Collins, Paul Posluszny, Aaron Donald, Fletcher Cox. The defense is great. So here I should be getting a lot of pressure on my opponent's offensive line, because turns out you probably won't have a great offensive line. But if you draft a good defensive line and a good offensive line, you won't have to worry about that. And the thing about receivers is, honestly, it doesn't matter who you have a receiver, as long as you could have time to pass the ball, as long as you know strategy and coverage and you can identify those stuff, you'll be good. And running doesn't matter. I mean, speed always matters, but if you have a great line and they can block, it doesn't matter. Dallas Cowboys offensive line, look what they did for DeMarco Murray. But yeah, that's my strategy, YouTube. I'm out. Peace.